Video 6, we will continue with legal responsibilities of a nurse. So, to prevent legal issues, it is very necessary for nurses to follow some responsibilities. So, the main areas to prevent legal issues are admission and discharge of medical legal cases. So, we have to be careful, So, once when you get, any cases which is related to legal case, inform to the police immediately. Okay, and we do not discharge unless it is been granted. Without seeing order, we cannot give any discharge. And then in case of death of the patient, okay, and then in case of medical legal case, if there is a death, admission and discharge of mentally ill patients, examination of female patients. Okay, so if you are a male, you will never examine a female patient, okay, alone. So in the presence, even doctor will do in the presence of a sister or a female doctor. Then legal responsibility during administration of medication, all the rights has to be followed. Sterilization and abortion, organ transplant. In these areas, the nurse has to be really very careful. So that's what has been given in detail. So we will just go through it. So legal responsibility of a nurse during admission and discharge. So while nurse is providing care for such patient, after receiving the patient from OPD to outpatient department to ward, immediately inform the doctor on duty of that unit. So we have to inform to the doctor first. Then all the records like OPD slip, admission file must be kept under lock and key. So to prevent legal issues, so make sure that you lock and keep the case sheet of the patient. If nurse responsible, it is nurse responsibility not to show the patient's record to anyone. Maintain confidentiality. It is nurse responsibility not to show or hand over the record to any police personnel without the higher authorities information or knowledge. You cannot hand over anything to police personnel. It is also nurse responsibility not to throw any discharge of patient without the permission of physician. Nurse should keep the belonging of the patient in her custody. Take consent of relative or patient of any kind of procedure or treatment. Avoid answering inquiries to insurance agent. If you are not don't know, if you don't have proper information regarding to insurance agent, then you don't answer it. And then the condition of patient should be reported verbally to relatives. Always it should be kept told, this is how the patient is, and mostly it is done by the doctor. Okay, make sure that if they ask you too many questions also, you can always direct them to the physician. Maintain all records of the patient accurately. Responsibility of the nurse during the discharge of the patient. So what are the responsibility that she has on discharge? No record should be handed over to the police by nurse. So the police nurse should not hand over. Entered clearly if patient is transferred to another ward or hospital. So you have to write it in the chart properly. Wherever the patient is transferred from your ward, before allowing the patient to leave the hospital, nurse should clearly enter or write the name of relative of the patient who is going to come with the patient, who is going to take. Okay, so that has to be mentioned. If a nurse responsibility to keep, it is a nurse responsibility to keep all the records concerning to patient under lock and key after discharge to the patient. So once the patient is gone also, still we will make sure that we will keep the record of the patient. So that has to be kept properly. In case of death of a patient, so what are the things that the nurse is supposed to do? After death of the patient, if the patient is medico-legal nurse, must get written instruction from the medical officer for handing over the body of the person to mortuary or police officer. So to whomever the body is going to be handed over, okay, the nurse, if it is a medical legal case, then the nurse should make sure that she obtains permission from the medical officer, and then the body should be handed over to the mortuary or to the police. Note complete name, address of the patient should be written, identification number should be written, signature of the witness should be there. Note list of belongings, what are the belongings of the patient. Okay, then maintain privacy and give full respect, dignity to the dead body should be given. Cover the patient appropriately, and then if bathing is done, okay, give death care and keep the patient dignified, okay, covered properly, and then only it will be handed over. Thirdly, legal responsibilities of a nurse in admission and discharge of mentally ill patients. So as per Indian Mental Health Act 1987, major patient get admitted on voluntary adult basis. Okay, so voluntary adult basis only they come and get admitted. After admission, nurse should check the application form for admission is accompanied by report of 2 medical officers, out of which one should be government doctor. Okay, so 2 doctors should examine before the admission, out of which 1 doctor should be a government working doctor to approve that the patient is mentally ill. Okay, and then responsibilities during discharge of mentally ill person. Check the signature of patient or relative after discharge who is taking, and then note permanent and correspondent address of the patient, where he is going, what is his permanent address. Responsibilities of a nurse in case of absconding of patient. When the patient runs away, check the number of patients admitted with actual number of patients present in the ward while handing over and taking over charges from one nurse to another. So we have to be very careful when you go. You should know the census, how many was admitted, how many are there, how many got transferred, how many got discharged, how many death happened. Everything has to be maintained in the census, and when you come for the duty, you should have an idea. Okay, usually in the night, midnight, in the night shift only, they will make, keep the census ready. Okay, so you should have an idea about it. And then note, okay, next is inform immediately to in charge of the unit and keep the record of patient under lock and key. So if any abnormality you see after the census, okay, you take account of the patient, any abnormality, immediately inform to the higher authority and keep all the patient's records under lock. Okay, and then responsibility of a nurse during examination of a female patient. It is nurse's responsibility to provide privacy during the examination. Nurse must be present during the examination if it is a male doctor. Little exposure of the patient is to be made, whatever is necessary. Protect the right of the patient during examination of female patient. It is necessary. It is nurse responsibility to discourage if repeated examination of breast or perineal part are being done by male doctor. Okay, so we have to restrict. Okay, and then legal responsibility of a nurse while administering medication. So we have to keep all 5 rights in mind while administering medication. Follow only written orders of the physician. Strict monitoring of medicine, especially one which change the chemistry of blood. Medicine containers must be properly labeled. So all these medicines you have to label properly. You have to check the expiry date, and accordingly to the 5 rights the medication should be administered. Then legal responsibility during sterilization and abortion. Okay, so for permanent sterilization it is essential. So permanent and temporary. Temporary where they can take oral contraceptives, or they can put IUD, insertion of uterine device, okay, or spermicide ointment, which can be creams, which can be used by the men. Okay, and then permanent tubectomy and vasectomy. So get informed consent by doctor, both as husband and wife, you have to take consent that they are ready for sterilization. Okay, and then eugenic sterilization to prevent procreation of unfit, such as mentally retarded, mentally ill, habitual criminal, sexual deviates is practiced in some part of the world, but each care is taken independently. Okay, so we have to make sure that the patient is unfit. If he is unfit for reproduction, then in case of that, again the person can undergo sterilization. So in all this condition, that has to be taken care. And if there is a habitual criminal, sexual deviates, okay, sometimes they might undergo abortion. So legally that is accepted. Legal responsibility of a nurse during organ transplant. As a nurse, she should be aware that an uninformed donor prepared under sedation for removal of any part is criminal in the law of court. So person should be willing to give. With their consent only we can give. We cannot take from anybody and just transplant it. It becomes illegal. So it is nurse's responsibility to get the consent signed by relatives as per the desire of the deceased. Okay, so with this we have finished all the legal rights. Next we will see what are the rights of the patient. Consumer protection right. Already we have seen patient's rights. Okay, if there is a question of Consumer Protection Act, then we have to write this. Our country is a democratic country where laws are made for the betterment of the society. With the advent of Consumer Protection Act in 1986, the number of litigations against doctors have increased. So when we see this, based on the Consumer Act, we have seen that there are a lot of cases, litigations actually against the doctors. Today, health is an industry because of mushroom of private hospitals in the country. Almost they treat like that. One patient goes with one small headache, they will say do CT, do MRI, and they will think of tumor, okay, big things, and they will try to extract. It has become like a business. The patients are now considered as clients of the hospital. Private hospitals are profit-seeking industries. They provide 5-star treatment to their clients. Okay, so in private hospital, according to the money paid, They treat them like 5-star, hotels with all privileges, but more of money. It has become like, business industry. Due to the negligency and malpractice of these hospitals, Supreme Court has brought these hospitals under the armpit of this act. So there are various hospitals like this which the Supreme Court has brought under this act. However, after the introduction of Consumer Protection Act, a drastic change has taken place, and litigants are preferring claims through district, state, and national forums. So we see that after this act has been come, the such things have been reduced. CPA, that is the Consumer Protection Act, or COPRA, was enacted by Parliament in December 1986 and came into force in September 1987. So it was started in December 1986, but it came into act in 1st September 1987. The aim of this act is to provide simple, speedy, and inexpensive redress. So they give, at very low prices they give, and then we see that grievances relating to unfair malpractices. If anything has happened as malpractice, grievances is also given. A proposal to bring medical services under the act was cleared in 1992. So under the Consumer Protection Act, the status of a patient is that of a consumer because the patient pays for the services or has a liability to pay, which may be full down payment system. So full down, at one stretch they are supposed to pay the money. A person who avails the facility and care under government hospital is not a consumer, because government hospitals are not meant for profit making. So we know government hospital, when we go, we don't pay anything. The government itself is taking care. But in private, it is not the case, where we have to pay. Profit making, but for the welfare of the people of the country. So the patient suffering from government hospital can file a claim in civil court. So if anything happens in the government hospital, if the patient is not treated well or taken care, then they can file a case in civil court. If conduct of the hospital doctor amounts to criminal negligence, the patient can cause to persecute the doctor in criminal court. So if they're not treating properly, civil court, but if they are having some kind of criminal negligence against the patient, then they can sue them in the criminal court. Time limitation. A claim for compensation under Consumer Protection Act must be filled at a forum within 3 years of subject of having complaint. For example, now Sri Devi's mother, when she was alive, when they had to do, I think, surgery on the right eye, they did it on the left eye. So there was a compensation which was given by the London, I think it was in London hospital. So she claimed it. So any claim should be within 3 years, so that they give the compensation of any criminal act or criminal negligence. At district court, limitation is of 3 months. So in district court, it is only for 3 months. Within that, they have to sue. So consumer protection readressal agencies or levels. Under a 3-tier redressal machinery and under Section 9, the Act envisages setting of quasi-judicial redressal mechanism, which is as follow. So district forum, state commission, national commission. So they come under this 3. When we say district forum is established by state government. In each district you have this forum. It has 3 members. Qualified, you have a judge. District judge will be there, a person of eminence in the field of education, commerce, that second person. Third, a social worker, who is a lady. So when we say district level, you have a president, that is a qualified district judge, then a person of eminence in the field of education, commerce, then a lady. So district forum deals with the compensation claims up to 5 lakh. So they can give them compensation up to 5 lakh. Then state commission, it is at state level. It has 4 members. Here you have again president of judge of the high court. Then 2 person of eminence in education, administration, adequate knowledge of law, industry and public officer. A female member as a social worker. So same as district, but you have 2 people here who has eminence in education, administration, adequate knowledge of law and industry. Then state commission deals with the compensation of claim 5 lakhs to less than 20 lakhs. So they can give the claim from 5 to 20 lakhs. Then national commission, if you see, it is situated at New Delhi and it consists of 5 members. A person disagreed by an order made by the state commission may appeal to national commission within 30 days. So if he is not happy with the state commission where he has applied, within a month he should apply it in the national commission. So here you have 5 people, which is judge 1 and 4 members who belong to trade, industry, law, administration, and 1 woman among them is compulsory. Okay, so first we saw there are 3 members, then we saw 4 members in state, and in national level you have 5. In all the 3 you have 1 female, okay, worker. So here National Commission deals with the compensation above 20 lakhs. Okay, so in the first we have seen they give up to district level 5 lakhs, at the state level less than 20 lakhs, 5 to 20 lakhs, and then here in National Commission you have where the compensation is given above 20 lakh. Okay, so with this we have finished Consumer Protection Act, okay, and its various redressal, okay, and then agencies and levels. So next class we will continue with other topics of Unit 7.